From the studio at FC Public Media, it's FoCo Underground Comedy Edition. This week featuring Zach Reinert. Also featuring Justin Going and Chris Munoz.
All right, thank you guys so much for showing up. This is Comedy Underground, brought to you in part by Fort Collins Public Access and 970 Comedy. Can I give you guys a round of applause for doing this, coming here tonight? This is amazing. You guys are super fun. You guys are in for an amazing show tonight. We have 3 comics, super fun show. Our first comic of the evening is a good friend of mine. He's a hustler, been moving the scene for a while now. Give a big round of applause for Mr. Justin Going.
Thank you, everybody. Fuck chicken soup for the soul. I got Facebook, right? That's where all the answers are. Why do you need any other advice than Facebook in this day and age? It has all the answers to the most complex problems. Like, say I have a friend on Facebook named Crystal, but when she gets drunk, she calls herself Crystal, that kind of Crystal. You know what I'm talking about? And her opinion on government-funded birth control is that if you can't afford a condom, a baby, or birth control, you don't fuck. That's the whole opinion. Doesn't get any deeper than that. Oh, thank you, Crystal. It's been right in front of us the whole goddamn time. Crystal, you're a visionary. Is that why you had a kid when you were 17 years old? It's because you were financially ready and responsible, not because your body was raging with hormones so crazy that you sexualized cartoon characters like Lola Bunny from Space Jam. You guys remember Lola Bunny from Space Jam? They put big tits on a bunny like it wasn't going to be a problem for 9-year-old boys across the goddamn nation. This was a conversation that had to happen in a writer's room somewhere. They're like, what do we want our next smash hit, Bugs Bunny's female counterpart to be? What do we want her to look like? Yeah, Greg in the back. Big tits. Of course, Greg. Of course we're going to put human boobs on a bunny, because why the fuck wouldn't we? You can't process sexuality like that when you're 9 years old, all right? So it just manifests itself as a noise while you're laying on the ground in front of the TV. It just sounds like, and then your big brother comes trotting down the stairs like, what's the matter, little buddy? And you're like, I don't know how to feel about this goddamn rabbit on TV right now. I want to hold its hand so hard. I want to kiss it so hard. He goes, you want to fuck the bunny? I don't know what that means, but it sounds correct. I want hard things to happen to this bunny on TV right now. I don't know why. If you guys don't believe that this is like a real thing that's like happened, like ran through the minds of people growing up in my generation, Google Lola the bunny without safe search on. I dare you. You're going to see some shit, all right? I did the research for this joke. No, people are crazy. I expect the worst from people. I was at Target the other day. I was there to buy one item because sometimes I like to feel rich too. And I went to self-checkout to pay for it and get the fuck out, like as you do. And I came up behind a walking uterus and her 5 goddamn demon seeds. Stay with me. Here's what they did. The mom was checking out her items at the self-checkout, and then each of her 5 kids were also checking out their own individual items at their own goddamn self-checkout machines. All 6 self-checkout machines on one waste of space generation of fucking people. I have never wanted to shake the stick figure family off the back of a minivan harder than in that situation in my entire life. Just move it right down the line. Like, here's some for mom, here's some for little Timmy. Get out of the way! And the thing that killed me is that they were all failing at it too. Even the adult mom couldn't figure out how to get bananas to weigh like on that scale. She had to call over the lady with like the Badoop machine to come help her out. She's like, I can't get it to take on the scale right now. And all the kids are just furiously waving items in front of the scanners, hoping for the best. Like, I won't scan, mom, you won't scan. And I'm in my head seething, talking to them like grown adults. Like, that's because you scanned it too fast, you little piece of shit. Get out of the way. And the worst part of this whole thing is that she didn't even distribute money to the kids, like if they happened to be successful and like, boop, whoop, and they got it, so they couldn't pay for it. So they had to come back to her, and they formed like this bastard huddle around her. And then she distributed money to them, like, here's 5 for you, here's 5 for you, here's 5 for you. All right, now hands in, family motto on 3. 1, 2, 3. We don't know our father. And then they broke out. Thanks a lot, you guys. That's gonna do it for me. My name is Justin Going.
Justin Going, everybody. This next comic's a good friend of mine. He hails all the way from Colorado. Please give a big round of applause for my good friend, Mr. Chris Munoz.
Clap it up for yourself one time. Go ahead. Yeah. Wow. You guys, has anyone in this room ever gotten so drunk that they ended up in a relationship? Yeah. Dope. One liar in the room. I like this. What's going on? I had to stop doing it. I don't think, getting drunk at 4 a.m. bars is probably the best way to do things. I think that's kind of like resin hitting the gene pool. You guys know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Colorado got so high it forgot about resin. Oh, fuck. Definitely. I grew up, I love Fort Collins. It's a nice little progressive white town. Clap it up, white people that are not racist. Good for you. Good for you. It's awesome. I don't know. I like going to the coffee shops and you can see all this progressive talk. I like to look around and I always hear the same conversation over and over again. It's always Skylar and Brad and they're talking about how not racist they are. It's a blast. It's like, hey, Skylar, you're not racist, are you? Nah, Brad, I'm not. Are you? And then I look around the fucking cafe and I'm like, how the fuck are you guys sure here in Fort Collins? Come on. Like, if you are racist, how often do you even get practice, right? Seriously, I mean, like, any time I see in Fort Collins anyone being remotely racist, I'm like, how did they get that good at that? Are they from LaPorte? Shit, they're from LaPorte. That's exactly where they're from. I grew up in a tiny little racist town, which is great if your last name's not Mexican and you're not tan all the time like I am. I don't like to name it on stage. I grew up in you guys ever been to Berthoud, Colorado? Yeah. Ever been to that hellhole? Man, great place to raise a nice little white family. Not so much fun if you're me. What I'm trying to get at is, did any of you guys ever get called a Beaner Schnitzel growing up? No, just me. Just like taco, burrito, bratwurst in your Speedo. Damn it, tell me that is clever. That is hilarious. We'll see you at church. Bring your gun. You always do. You always do. You always do. I had to quit drinking. I did. I was pretty good at the drinking part, but I was kind of bad. I do stupid things at the end of the bar, like when the bar's closed. I don't know if you guys ever done this. I would end up doing a little bit of this, you know? Just like jerking off a whole bunch of fucking dudes. You guys ever do that? It's real weird. Yeah, it's getting strange. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be 30 soon, which is strange because dating is not as much fun when you're going to be 30. I'm no longer like a boyfriend or pool boy or husband material. I'm kind of more like a stepdad material. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, let me raise your kids. Come on, let's go on a date. It'll be a good time. Yeah, I don't know. Dating as you get older is much more depressing. Like, have you guys ever noticed on the dating apps, have you guys found yourself doing this? It's kind of sad. You're like swiping right late at night, and then your phone dies. And then you kind of envy your phone. That one's sad. That one's real sad. It's just strange. I miss being like 20 when you could like go to a bar and buy a pretty girl a drink, and that's how you would date. Whereas like now, I have to teach another man's child life lessons that I haven't learned myself yet. It's real odd. Yeah. I had to teach Skylar how to whittle a Pinewood Derby car for a hand job, you guys. It's real strange. Yeah. Got to third base, which turned out is now I'm just the coach of his t-ball team. It's real awkward. real strange. Yeah, I don't know. I got a pretty hot sex life in here, though. Anyone else with a hot sex life? Dope, sad room, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes my sex life gets so hot, you guys, that my laptop will just burn the fuck out of my chest. You guys ever have that? I got nipple tape on right now, and it's been a marathon weekend. It's been a rough one. It's been a real weird one. It's strange, though, because dating is odd. Like, I noticed that, like, I don't know. I've always wanted to send a dick pic. You know what I'm saying? It's on my dream board. It is. It's right there. It's just like, send one. You can do it. Never sent one. I've taken thousands trying to get the right angle right. You know what I'm saying? You know? I'm just worried that if I would ever send this beautiful, well-crafted dick pic to a beautiful lady, that she would just like send a much bigger, better one back. You know? You get it. You're like, oh, damn, that's a dick with a fucking future. Holy shit. Damn, that dick's got dental for sure. That dick's going places. Yeah, I've been Chris Munoz. Thank you guys so much. All right.
Chris Munoz, everybody. All right, so we have hit your headliner for the evening. He hails all the way from Denver, Colorado. He's a good friend of mine. Please give a big round of applause for Mr. Zach Reinert, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I recently had to quit a terrible office job, and when I was walking out of that place for the final time, I kind of want to say screw it and just pull the fire alarm. But I thought it was best for everybody if I just let the fire take them. It's kind of how my set goes. All right. Having kind of a rough week. My nephew's in the hospital. He fell in a well. And having a hard time picking out what card to get him. Get well soon didn't seem appropriate. I drove for Lyft for a while, and one question you always get as a Lyft driver, no matter who gets in your car, everybody will ask you, has any drunk asshole ever puked in your car? Yeah. Everybody asks it. And after like a year, some drunk asshole finally puked in my car. It was me. One time I took a 92-year-old woman to jury duty. It was the best. She's got really dark in conversation, just talking about her life. She's like, yeah, in 2011, my older sister died. In 2012, my baby sister died. I'm an orphan now. And I was like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Your chances of getting adopted are terrible. We're having fun. I recently became an uncle again for like the third or fourth time. And they made me godfather of the kid. So I really hope that nothing bad ever happens to my brother or sister-in-law, because I have no idea how to put a kid up for adoption. It's at least one Google search. I was gonna tell my son that he was adopted, but I'm just gonna let his new family handle that. But it sucks whenever you watch movies as a kid and you love those movies, and then you watch those same movies as an adult and they don't hold up anymore, especially if they're home movies. It's like, why was Dad played by a different guy for a year? You know what I mean? We're almost past the sad ones, I think. I have a couple of friends that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I assume is just regular Jiu-Jitsu without any pubic hair. It's very dumb. But I wanted to name my son something unique and cultured, so I named him after an African nation. His name is Chad. Let's see. One time my girlfriend tried cheating on me with a substitute teacher. Luckily nothing happened. He just showed up and put a movie on. Let's see. One of my buddies told me that he's really into being submissive in the bedroom, and I was like, hey man, if it makes you happy, less power to you. I'm not a religious person. I just think certain parts of the Bible are too unrealistic for me, especially the part in the front where my grandpa wrote, I think this will help you. Oh, man. But I think the worst day of my life was the day I saw my mom getting put into handcuffs because they were fuzzy and she was having a great time. Some of these are pretty weird. My roommate recently bought a fleshlight, and now he tells the weirdest ghost stories. Let's see. One thing I started doing recently is I keep a baseball bat by my bed now, in case anybody breaks into my apartment. They end up being cool as hell and want to go to the batting cages. But I think it would be really cool being from China, because you can work for 40 years, retire, and be 45 years old. So it's gonna get dark a little bit. Let's see. A lot of comedians are worried about like PC culture and liberalism like ruining jokes and comedy. I don't think that's true. I just think you just have to be more creative with how you make fun of people. Like in my eyes, there's not many funnier things than walking up to a kid with 2 dads and telling him he's got a face that only a mother could love. We got some people on board for it. Let's see, but I think it's messed up that God's the only one allowed to work in mysterious ways. Like if I crash a plane or kill a bunch of kids, nobody's like, well, Zach works in mysterious ways. I trust him. My little brother suffers from sleep paralysis. We think it might be connected to his regular paralysis. You guys are awesome. I had a lot of office jobs in my life, and my last office job, me and my boss were the only dudes that worked there. And one day we had like 5 women go on maternity leave, and my boss was like, "Hey Zach, I just want you to know the only reason why you got hired is because you can't get pregnant." And I was like, "Whoa, I'm still gonna make you wear a condom." It's a fun one for everybody but me. I got into a pretty bad car wreck like a year ago, and I got rear-ended by a woman going like 50, and it was a hit and run. She took off. They caught her really fast though because her license plate fell off at the scene, and apparently that helps you find people. But at one point I remember holding her license plate and looking at my completely totaled car and thinking, damn, I bet that guy in my trunk is for sure dead now. I made a voodoo doll of my neighbor and I stabbed it, and a week later he got stabbed. I mean, I stabbed him. The voodoo doll was nice practice. Do a lot of dive bars doing comedy. One time I was in Southwest Iowa, and this really drunk middle-aged white guy just walked in, and he just yelled out, "Who wants to fight?" So I just yelled back, "Your wife and your kids for your love." And small towns generally also hate that joke. It's a little close to home for some people. Let's see. My girlfriend hates when I wear socks during sex because I wear them on my hands and do a puppet show. Got lots of weird sex ones for tonight. That was a good call by me, probably. Sometimes my girlfriend likes to play music during sex, which sucks because her trombone hits me in the chest a bunch. One time I was at this restaurant and a guy had a heart attack in the middle of his meal, and this guy sitting at the table with him just yelled out, "Is there a doctor in the house?" So I just yelled back, "This isn't a house, it's a restaurant." Anyway, everybody laughed and the guy died. I'm working on a TV show called 19 Kids and Counting. It's about a very successful kidnapper. Let's see. I call my dick Will Smith because it's been in so many terrible things I don't trust it anymore. What? Will Smith, divisive. All right. People still on the Will Smith train. Let's see. I was driving earlier in Denver, and I drove past this house that had a sign that said "Drive like your kids live here," which really made me sad because it was my ex-wife's house and my kids do live there. All right, that's just a sad one. I was hanging out with my girlfriend the other day, and she was like, "Would you ever threesome where it's you and another guy?" And I was like, "That's only 2 people, idiot." Oh man, I had a very scary family situation the other day. My grandma fell while she was in the shower. I had shampoo in my eyes, otherwise I think I could have caught her. Oh man, let's see. Let's get to the. We've got to the weird ones. We've definitely gotten to the weird ones. Let's see. But it sucks breaking something that a kid made for you. Like my niece's macaroni necklace or my iPhone. Just a sprinkle of terribleness sometimes. I'm a little worried. The condom broke last night. Are the drugs even still up there? So high right now. I like those fire and ice condoms because you're only like 2 elements from having a 3-way with Captain Planet. I was sick for a while and I had to go get a bunch of blood work done. And the lady taking my blood was like, "Hey, do you have any history of blood problems in your family?" And I was like, "Well, I come from a long line of Crips, so yes." It's one of the nicer ones I have, comparatively speaking. Hey guys, isn't it weird that we park on a driveway, drive on a parkway, and I got stabbed at a Safeway? Let's see. A lot of guys, when they're getting older, they feel like they're becoming their dad. I feel like I'm becoming my neighbor. I already have his social security number and 3 of his credit cards. It was really emotionally scarring when I didn't know how to swim, and my dad just threw me into the deep end of a pool. It was also physically scarring because there was no water in the pool. Let's see here. What are we gonna do? I do hang out with like a lot of perverts doing this. And one thing people always say is like certain foods and drinks can affect like men's semen. And I think that's true because one of my buddies used to eat glue when he was a kid. And the other day his wife gave birth to conjoined twins. Oh, it doesn't get any dumber than that one. Let's see here. I got really good at throwing popcorn and having my cousin catch it in his mouth. People started getting really mad, though. It's like, well, fine, just have it be closed casket then. You guys are awesome. Some people think that circumcision is genital mutilation, but they're actually 2 completely different death metal bands. One time I was at the 16th Street Mall in downtown Denver, and they have this restaurant called Duck Soup. And at one point I was eating there, and I was dipping bread into duck soup, which just seemed like the ultimate fuck you to ducks. Dipping your favorite thing into you after you're dead. Later that night, I saw a blind guy drinking carrot juice, and I was like, "Keep fucking dreaming, buddy." I asked my girlfriend to marry me. She told me I had to ask her dad, so I did, and he said yes, and now we're getting married. Oh, that's so stupid. Let's see. They say that friends don't let friends drive drunk. That's why I let Kristen drive hammered last night, because I wanted to know that I'm into the idea of us being more than friends. But one thing I'm trying to remember, though, when I'm out drinking with my friends is like a $30 Uber ride home sounds like a ton of money. But you get caught driving and get a DUI, it's like $10,000. But if you make it home, you just save $10,030. All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. You guys have a good night.
Zach Reinert, everybody. Give a big round of applause for all the comedians you saw this evening. Give a big round of applause for Fort Collins Public Media and 970 Comedy. Thank you so much for showing up. If you liked what you saw, we will be back on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Nathan Lund and A-List will be performing. So thank you so much. Give generously and have a good night. Thank you.